is up, everyone? And welcome to the Life Jacket. I'm Bless,
And I'm AJ.
and as you guys know, we talk about topics to help you get through the waves of life. So let's first start off with our wow, a win of the week. Well, actually, it's more of like a win of the why, because it's the win of the year,
Yeah, right, right,
right? Our win of the
right.
year, it's our 1 year when we decided to sit down in these chairs here at Philly Podcast Space and take our knowledge, our experiences,
hmm
our hopes, our dreams, our aspirations to a different level with starting this podcast. So it's been a good journey, and we're still going to push and keep going forward.
Yeah, it's been great. Just before we get started, I'm proud of me and blessed. Like we really stayed consistent. We really mapped it out. We didn't come in here for one episode to just be on the cameras. Like we really had a vision, and we're looking to make year two even stronger. So just continue to be on the lookout for more content. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. It's the 1 year, so show us some love and
Exactly.
actually do it. You know what I'm saying? But I've got the same why as well. Just 1 year, happy to be here. So we're good, and we can kind of just
Jump
dive
in.
in, jump
Yep.
into our topic for today, which is laziness versus burnout and how to recognize the difference. Lazy people really lack the motivation to keep going. They're not very eager. They don't really like to start tasks, or if they do, they don't really complete them. And it's a real struggle. There's no real motivation behind it. Versus burnout, where you have the motivation, you have the desire, but you're so physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted that you don't have the motivation, energy to keep going because you're just so burnt out from work or through life. So there really is a big difference between the both. So we'll be
Mhm.
able to really dive into that today and really help the viewers distinguish the difference.
Absolutely. And the reason why we're talking about this topic as well is because laziness and burning out, the results look the same, right? So your productivity may be low, things that you need to do or want to do might not happen. But the difference is laziness is more of a choice. You choose not to do something,
hmm
regardless of whatever situation is, because you have the lack of motivation to actually get up and do whatever you need to do. Whereas burning out, it's still going to produce low productivity because you're trying to do too much and you're trying to put the world on your back and you don't know how to say no, like we talked about in other episodes, and you're not getting that self-help, which we talked about in other episodes, about taking care of yourself and not allowing yourself to be burnt out, because it's easy to just continue doing and doing and doing and then not actually accomplishing anything. You grab taking 100 things and only do 10% of those 100 things, whereas you sit down, do that one thing and knock it out at 100%, you're going to get a different type of outcome. And you're probably going to have better productivity with sitting down and taking one thing rather than trying to do so many at the same time.
And just some signs for somebody who's burnt out, right? You really lack self care. You don't really take the time to go get a haircut, go to the gym, take care of yourself on a daily. You lack motivation. You were really passionate about it at one point and motivated, but now you're just like, I really don't enjoy this anymore. I don't like doing it. Again, it's real, right? And I think when you think about burning out, it's a lot harder than people think. If you're someone who you work a 9 to 5, but you're still trying to stay in shape and go to the gym, say you have a family, you have to take care of your kids. Say you have pets, you have to take care of your pets. You gotta, if you're married, take care of your wife, make sure she's good. Make sure you're staying on top of your 9 to 5. You're gonna get burnt out. And then on the weekends, if you're whether you're single or married, you want to enjoy the weekends, right? Because you're so tired of being at work all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just a constant motion. And if you're not like taking any kind of self care, if you're not going to the gym, if you're not meditating, if you're not praying, you're going to burn out. You're going to crash out literally because you're just so exhausted. So I think it's really important. And I'm very big on work life balance, self care, taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself. Because if you're not going to do it, nobody else is. And you can't get to a point where you're just letting yourself go and burning out because you're trying to do really well at your job, or you have a lot of responsibilities, or you're starting a business and you're trying to get it going. Yeah, I respect that, but you got to make sure you take the time out too to take care of yourself. So those like some like signs of burnout, and then
Hmm.
what can kind of lead into that if you're not really watching what's going on.
Yeah. And then I guess the symptoms of laziness is being unmotivated, undisciplined, procrastination, and also the signs and symptoms. You just are just going through the regular ways of life, right?
Hmm.
And you're not trying to do more, and you have your lack of motivation to where you're just living this rat race of waking up, going to work, coming home, and rinse and repeat. And there's nothing more inclining for you to be able to do because you're just simply lazy.
And I think that goes into one of our episodes, like finding your why.
Yeah.
It's so funny how it just connects. But it's a lot of people are lazy because they just don't have any motivation. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
can you go take out the trash? I don't feel like it. That's being lazy. You really just don't want to take the trash out. Or if you're in college, right? And you're not doing well in a class. Um, you're just lazy, right? You're
Yeah.
not interested. It doesn't interest you. You don't want to do the homework. You're not even trying. So I do think like laziness. I don't really. It's such a loose term because I really don't think people are lazy. I think people are stuck. Like they're stuck in life. They don't have any motivation. They don't have a why. They don't have a purpose, and everything else they're doing, they're just doing it. There's nothing behind it. So you'll find people, oh, I'm lazy, or like a mechanic, right? They're fixing a car. They don't even like fixing cars.
Mm-hmm.
They're just doing it, and they're just there's compared to like the name of athlete like Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. He wasn't lazy. He loved his purpose. He was in his purpose. He loved basketball. He loved playing. Um, and yeah, he probably got burnt out at times for sure, but he took the time to like to rest and in between games and rest during the off season. And it's just really a matter of finding some type of motivation for somebody. Like if you're lazy, like finding that motivation, finding like, okay, like why don't I like enjoying anything? Why
Mm-hmm.
am I so lazy all the time? And it's important because I'd rather you not get out of being stuck and being lazy. I'd rather you at least be on your purpose, right? And burn out. At least you can like that's a lot easier to
Yeah.
fix than just being lazy.
I agree. And then like with laziness as well, you have once you said it before, you have to understand your why. But then like after your day is over, ask yourself like could you have done more? And then once you've figured out if you could have, then ask yourself why. And 9 times out of 10, I'm lazy could essentially be that answer for why you didn't decide to write this paper or do a work assignment or supposed to call your family and you're supposed to call on your somebody that told you, "Hey, call me back," and you never did. Why didn't you really do it? Did you not have the time? Um, or are we just being too lazy to not do it? And that's how because laziness is really
Yeah.
it's subjective. Like there's nobody that's watching this that we can really say you're lazy. But only person that knows you're lazy is you because of your lack of motivation. And it's you have to understand the difference to be able to assess it because if you're working all day and you have to come home, take care of the kids, take care of the pet, and cook and clean and all that stuff, and then you weren't able to have a simple phone call to give back, then that's different because you're burnt out. But you went to work and now you home watching Netflix, chilling and stuff like that, and you could have done it, then that's just laziness. So, understanding you as a viewer, as an individual, are you being lazy or are you being burnt out? And if you are being lazy, figure out ways to actually accomplish those goals.
Right. So just to go into our off topic for Bless, would you rather get a lump sum of $6 million at one time, or would you rather get it in 50,000 increments over the months until it gets up to like 6 million?
Hmm. I think I would take, depending on taxes, probably the 6 million lump sum because we're in an era where like an information era
Mm-hmm.
where anything you want to do, anything you want to find out, it's very simple to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 6 million, that's more money to invest, to flip. It's steady income. Whereas life's not promised. So you might not even get to that finishing off your payment, and you can. I feel like you can do more with 6 million than 50,000 in regards to, at least for me, in regards to my goals and dreams. So that's what I would do. What about you?
Yeah, I'd probably take it up front because
Y-
I feel like I'm better at my money now, so
Yeah,
I can take it. You know, I could put into a Roth IRA or S&P 500 and just split it up and have my money working for me
yeah.
over the time, just like just waiting for it every month, like you said, the taxes and stuff. So I'd probably take it all up front too.
And the crazy part about it is though, like kind of going into the topic a little bit, a lot of people would say they'll take the 6 million, but then I would question like, do they know what they're going to do with it? And they're only thinking about
Mm-hmm.
like the big things of spending money
Mm-hmm.
and continually spending. And so financial literacy is very helpful. And I think that like now in the era that we're in, there's definitely multiple ways to flip that money or make more money, make your money make money and stuff like that. It's just a matter of having that mindset to do it and not being lazy enough to not do it. So,
No, yeah, that's true. So just going back into the episode, when was a time you felt like you were burnt out?
oh, I know exactly the time I was burnt out. So, freshman year of college,
Mm-hmm.
um, spring break, I had a job. I think most of you guys maybe tried this job before. I think it was called Cutco or something like that, where I was like selling knives. Oh my god, you probably all know what I'm talking about. So I think I was doing that at one point, and then I ended up doing like an
Mm.
internship, and then it was spring break, so I came home, and I went to like I was partying as well, and I was doing all of those things just during spring break, trying to make some extra money, still trying to see all my friends and family. And long story short, I I wasn't drinking at the time because I wasn't old enough, you know, don't underage drink. But
Mm-hmm.
we went to a party and I was speeding that morning, so I got a speeding ticket because I was already late to something. And then that night after the party at 2 o'clock in the morning, driving home, I was so burnt out that I actually flipped my car.
Mm.
And thank God, I'm still alive and still here today. But yeah, I was way too burnt out, and it was supposed to be spring break. I was supposed to be taking a break, and yet I was doing way more than
Yeah.
that. So that was a time that I was definitely burnt out myself, and I had no car, so for the last couple of days of spring break, I stayed my behind home.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I'm in the country, but Cutco is crazy.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I like it's crazy. College, we would do anything for money.
yeah,
Like we would be down so bad. I remember I was taking clothes to Plato's Closet.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah.
little hot $40. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not. I'm really not. I was thinking. I remember like I remember somebody hit me about Cutco too in college. Like, wake up now, Cutco,
Yo,
all
all
that.
wake up now.
Yeah, yeah, like all that. Man, we was down bad.
You
We
tried
was.
tried to hustle.
Yeah, we
It,
did. We really tried to hustle. My biggest burnout probably was my job. Now I think there was a point where I don't like taking off. I don't like
hmm
taking off for like big vacations. So I was just working and working and working. I remember I looked up once and I didn't take like any PTO days for like 5, 6 months. And I was like and I remember being maybe like 4 months into my 6 months before I took it. I was like, man, like I really don't like my job right now. Like it's just
hmm
boring. It's the same old thing. Everyone's getting on my nerves. I was tired of emails. And I was like, oh, I haven't really. And my manager's like, when's the last time you took off? I was like, 6 months ago. She's like, yeah, AJ, you need to take off.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, no, I was burnt out. Like I had no motivation. I was coming to meetings late. I just didn't care. I'd be like itching to get off a call. But then I just realized like, yo, like I'm burnt out. And I think that's when it really hit me. Like burnout is a real thing. Like I wasn't taking care of myself. I was putting the job before me. That's what I
hmm
was doing. I was just slaving for these projects, making sure everyone else is happy with the deadlines, and I wasn't taking care of myself,
Yeah.
which kind of just brings me into like like just the strategies for like burnout. It's like self care is so important. Like taking it, like setting a morning routine.
hmm
Don't just wake up and hop on Outlook and get to work. Like eat a breakfast or go to the gym, do some type of yoga, prayer, meditation, making sure like you block some time in between the day. Like I have like a blocked off hour just to reset a little bit. If I
Yeah.
have a back to back meetings, like taking that time off, decompressing after work, going to the gym, watching like something on TV, um, anything just to hop on the video game, get yourself away from your day to day so you
hmm
don't burn out. It's a real thing, and a lot of people do it. And again, I don't have a family, so like I can't imagine right now like having a wife, then having to pick up the kids, having to make dinner, and I'm trying to go to the gym. Yeah, and I'm trying to make sure my wife's good, keeping our relationship healthy, helping the kids with homework. Like that's a lot. I could not imagine like
Yeah.
that. Like I would be crashing. I couldn't think of that right now.
Hmm.
Just so because it's me. So I'm just like just trying to like even right now not burn out, but even like once you get to that level, like being a family man, like making sure you're not burning out either. That's how people they start drinking, coming always at happy hour. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
home in a little bit. Yeah, because it's just so much stress on you. So I'm just practicing now, like taking care of myself, prioritizing myself, like always just making sure I'm putting me first.
Yeah, absolutely. And just engaging in that healthy lifestyle,
Hmm.
like you said, like getting enough sleep, making sure that you're exercising regularly. And then, like, once again, we talked about in the last episode, but self care. And, you need time to do the things that you love as well. So that way you're not getting burnt out. You're having that little relaxation, whether you're, 14 years old or you're 50 years old and you like playing video games. Get on the game for a couple
Hmm.
hours or so, you know, and do something that you actually enjoy doing so that way you're not feeling so overwhelmed with all the other responsibilities that you have. And like you said, scheduling rest, very,
Hmm.
very important, making sure that you're getting, the adequate time of rest that you need, whether it's 8 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. You know your body better than we do. But to make sure that you're actually getting that time so you're not burnt out and you have the energy to do it and accomplish what you need. And then I would say probably my last thing that for burnout is setting boundaries, which
Hmm.
we talked about as well, and going back saying no to certain things. You don't have to say yes to everything, and that'll help you to be able to overcome being burnt out. And then, how do you think we should overcome laziness?
I would say if you're somebody who's lazy, like just find out what drives you, find out what gets you going. It's really, really important you actually find that out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find out like your why, your purpose, what gets you going. You just can't be lazy forever. It's really just it's not a good look. You just have to get to a point in your life where you know what drives you, what keeps you going, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's like finding something you love to do, like find what really drives you. And then when you do like have some accountability, find an accountability group, tell your friends like, hey, listen, this is what I'm trying to do. I need you to hold me accountable, hold me accountable these deadlines for making sure I show up when I need to show up. That because accountability goes a really long way. Like I have accountability groups for whether I'm reading a book, whether for fitness, whether for diet. I'm doing a 75 day hard right now. So I have accountability group for that. It's all about accountability. It's all about making sure you find what drives you because nobody wants to be labeled lazy.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be the lazy person. It's just that's a nasty look for real.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like I remember last time somebody called me lazy, I was like, oof, okay, like that's just you don't want somebody to call you lazy, especially as a man. You
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
anybody to really call you lazy. So definitely making sure you do that. And again, when we talked about earlier, I feel like when I hear the word lazy, I feel like they're stuck. They're stuck in their life, and they're just they're looking for how to get unlazy. They don't want to be lazy. They're just trying to find what drives them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're in a generation now, whether that's content, whether that you like to play video games, turn on the Twitch, or just finding something that really
Yeah.
motivates you and keeps you going. So you could become that person who you're in your purpose and you're in your passion and you're loving what you do instead of kind of just going through like the day to day like oh, okay I'm kind of just you just wake up because I've been there before. You just wake up and you're like, all right, now what? I'm gonna do this job I don't really care about. And I think too, it's so funny, like when you hear about people at their jobs. A lot of people work like corporate jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and they just there's like I remember when I was getting ready for my job, I got above satisfaction, but there's a lot of meat satisfaction. I feel like a lot of people are in there.
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I need to do just to get by,
Yeah.
just to get there, and I don't want you to, as you're listening, like if you're somebody, like, I don't want you to live like that. I want you to really be your real true self. So,
Absolutely. And I guess just to recap everything that
hmm
we talked about.
hmm
So we identified, laziness versus burning out and the symptoms for both of those. Whereas burning out is when you used to be passionate, when you used to be motivated, when you used to, want to do more, but no, you're no longer doing that because you're now tired from it.
hmm
That's what burning out is. And laziness is you just automatically have that unmotivated act and feeling towards whatever you need to accomplish. And so we've identified what those are and the signs, and then kind of went over to how to overcome it. If you're burnt out, long story short, self care and taking care of yourself is going to be very important. Whether it's your time, your sleep, finding your why, or finding things that you enjoy doing, that's going to help you with being burnt out. And laziness, that's going to be finding your why, your passion, and sticking with that, having an accountability partner, like you said, so that way you can not have that title of being, lazy. But the only person, like I said, that's going to know that you're lazy is you.
Mm-hmm.
If you had time to do something throughout the day and you didn't do it, and it wasn't because you were burnt out, then it was because you were lazy. So it's one or the other. There's only two options here.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think I have two final thoughts. One is self care. Like if you're burnt out, please take time off. Please take care of yourself. Whether you need to go to therapy, life coaching, counseling, any type of self care, whatever you need to do to take care of you, please put yourself first before your job or before anything. Make sure you just take care of you. We care about you. I think burnout is a real thing. You can really crash out if you don't start taking care of yourself. So please learn to prioritize yourself. And the second is, if you find yourself that you're real lazy and you're kind of not motivated, just kind of just self-assess. Like, what do you like to do? Like, what do you do best that comes easy? I think that's a real good starting point to getting out of laziness, to finding your purpose, to finding out, what you're good at, and then kind of take off from there. So that's kind of my final thoughts. Any for you?
No, that's closing it up.
All right. So we appreciate everyone as always. Please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. It all goes a long way. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts. So thanks for all the support. And until next time, peace.